Sure. So the question is, in 2018, lobby endorsed the new changes. What changed? Why the different message? The 2016 executive order issued by the governor was extremely problematic. Led to a lot of confusion out there. Everyone pretty much agreed with that, including the governor, honestly, because he came back in 2018 and revised it. He and LED listened to input, revised that order. That was a positive development. What we're seeing right now is, again, if you heard my message, I think when you look through the reports, you may see some of the story we're talking about. Local input is not a bad thing, but the way it's being put together, I think if you look at how Texas does it, there's a way to tweak where we are today and get that input in a way that doesn't create some of the chaos we're seeing. And so I think that's why the distinction on that.
And a follow-up, could you be a little more specific on what changes you'd like to see? You mentioned like a single point of contact. Is there anything else that you want to see changed?
Yeah, well, the report's was good. I love you. But no, he has to be specific on what changes you're recommending. And the two main ones in my mind are, one, I think a single point of contact does help. Again, that should be a parish's choice. Put that into it, and that's a lesson learned from Texas. The other piece is, I think that that there should be a upfront fair proposal out there. So if the governor has said he wants 80% over 10 years, if that's what he prefers, then hey, I think that's fine. The question is, what if a local parish, when we get their local input, what if that local parish wants to go for 85% because they want to go recruit manufacturing jobs? What if they want to go to 87%? Or to fall into the Board of Commerce and Industry? One thing we saw here in Baton Rouge is after the school board vote, what's the first thing that West Baton Rouge said? They said, come on, we'll take it. You know, that's what they want. And so I think if we truly want local input, we truly want that, which I think is good, then what we would do is we would set that number. Let's say the governor wants 80% over 10, set it at that. But then allow locals to use a single point of contact and say, you know what, maybe we want and offer a deal better than that. And let's see what the market says.
What if they want to offer a deal lower than that?
Well, right now, that's not allowed in the current governor's order. I think that would be a big mistake if we want to truly compete because of many of the metrics I said here today. So I think the best policy is that 80% is the floor, and then let them, if they want to go up, and many of them may say, no, we'll take it, we're fine, whatever. That's kind of their choice, we want their input. And that's more aligned with what the governor's proposing today. I think that the 4 local hearings, what we're asking some of these entities, I'm not going to pick on the school board, but I'll use the school board as an example. These folks ran to make a difference in schools, to try to grind them or pick them to do good work in that space. They're not economic developers. And so if you're going to ask these people to be economic development analysts, you either have to send LED to every one of those hearings and do a thorough analysis so they know they have some information to vote on, or you can look at Texas and do more of a single point of contact mode. And the third piece is there might be a better way to fix this issue. Representative Foyle and Senator White have said they want to bring a bill. Trust me, there are a number of legislators who have reached out and said they're thinking about doing legislation as well. There might be another way to create this local input without some of the chaos we're seeing. And we're open to a workable solution, and I hope the governor is too.
So it sounds like the problem is mainly at the local level, not so much at the state level. Is there a way to cut the state out of the process entirely, maybe through a state constitutional amendment? Is that what you're supposed to do?
Well, the ITEP program is in the Constitution. And so it started in 1936. It was enshrined in 1974 in the Constitution. And it does give a lot of leeway to the Board of Commerce and Industry or its successor board and the governor. And so that's where most of the meat is in the Constitution. Now, most people, I think, would argue that to do this appropriately, it should be a constitutional amendment, whether it be amendment or a convention or whatever. If you want to change the program, it's absolutely more preferred to go in a constitutional amendment preferred. The governor went through the executive order route and put some qualifications on there and criteria and said he wanted local input, but put parameters on how the locals would do it. So I do think at some point, we need to kind of figure out, does the Constitution be amended? If so, is that during a convention or not? But right now, I think we just need calm and peace. Right now, we just need to kind of put some stability because some of the concerns we're hearing from the business side is I'm worried that they're just going to start looking elsewhere while we're fighting over the minutiae details of a minor piece.
And so, as you say, you're not getting a more specific proposal of what you said, but it sounds like you're saying whatever happens in this year's session, that it should come to a constitutional, state constitutional amendment.
Let me say it this way. I kind of believe in the Pottery Barn rule, okay? If you break it, you buy it. The governor used 2 executive orders to create a whole new system. I think there's some flaws in the system, but I think I'm very proud of our business members and proud of what we did, as you mentioned earlier, the last couple of years, we provide input and try to make it as good as possible. That's where I think the 2018 order came from. But I think we still have gaps. I think we've seen in Baton Rouge lately, we've got a challenge right now. And so to put some stability into it, I think our #1 name of the game is we've got to lower the tension. We've got to let the facts drive this, not the temperature of the moment. That's what you do for right now. But going forward, long term, we can't live in an executive order world of this issue. I don't think that's appropriate anymore.